Next, let's talk about adding yet another view, right? So we're in our sheet layer, right? It's shown right up here. It says that it's active sheet layer number 1. And let's go down and let's go back to our design layers, right? So where we're looking at our full drawing, and we're all familiar with the flyover tool. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of a flyover tool, and let's go ahead and roll around and look at our drawing maybe this way, right? And then let's go and let's do a OpenGL rendering. Okay, that's great. And this is a 3D view of our drawing, and maybe we want to have this 3D view on our sheet layer so that it provides additional clarity and people can see what it's going to look like, and it's actually printable. Now, rather than drawing a rectangle this time, we don't need to do that. We're going to define our viewing space once we're on our sheet layer. By just looking at this design layer the way that we are, we can just go to View, create a viewport. Let's put it on the same sheet layer. If we wanted to put it on actually let's put it on a new sheet layer. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's say, and we scroll up until we get to new sheet layer. New sheet layer. It says sheet layer number 2. Again, all this can just be by default, and we can say OK. And we can still leave everything over here OK. Look, it's already changed our rendering mode. It's changed our view to custom view, right? Our scale is all the same. Let's just go ahead and leave it all the same, and let's say OK. Look, it has a 3D view now on our piece of paper. Now, the red edge that's around the viewport, it indicates that the viewport needs to be updated. And it's going to happen often. As you start to change things or add or delete, you're going to need to update your viewport often. So the update is in Object Info. And if you go over here and just say Update and give it half a second to render. I'm pretty sure I clicked Update. Yep, I did. Right? So now it's updated that viewport, right? And you can see our page boundary, right, that we're going to be printing on is still this area out here. And it's a little too big. It doesn't fit on our page. So we can do a couple of different things. We could amend our scale to make it smaller, right? So maybe we're going to go ahead and make that 1/4 inch scale, right? There we are with our update again. Let's update that now in our smaller scale. There we are. That's a lot better. But maybe I don't need to see all of this. Maybe I can make this, I can adjust the crop a little bit to be able to make this smaller, but we never drew a rectangle to crop it. If I go here and I right click on it, just like I did, and I, to edit the crop of a top plan view, and I say edit crop, it's just going to show me the entire drawing space, and that's my page boundary. At this point, I can draw the rectangle to define that space. I'm going to say just that big, right? And I may even change that a little bit to where it comes in just to my proscenium wall, and I'll pull it down just a little bit to define that. And now I'm going to exit this crop. So what I did is on the sheet layer, I've now defined the cropped space, and you can see that it's cropped. Again, I have to do an update. Right? So here is now my little 3D view that's on the page. Let's do a right click. Now I'm just going to say copy. Copy. I'm going to go to my sheet layer 1. Yes, of course, I want to backup copy. Sheet layer 1, paste. And now look, I can put that view wherever I want, because remember, it's an object. I can cut and copy and paste objects wherever I want. I can put them wherever I need. And now I have a 3D view. I'm just organizing them on my piece of paper a little bit so that they all fit. Right? Now I have this 3D view of my theater that's on this page. This is now on a single piece of paper. Let's go ahead and print. From this point, printing is a breeze. Let's go to File. I can say Print. I'm going to print to an Adobe PDF, right? I think I can leave all of this as a default. I'll say OK, yes, and now it's printing. It wants to know the name of my file, and I'll just keep it. Actually, I'm going to put it on my desktop just because I'm going to get rid of it later. And I'll say Save, Printing, and it'll pop up. It's on my other screen. And if we'll look, we'll see that that's now our Adobe PDF of this. Now, Adobe automatically turns things, and so you kind of maybe have to do a little editing once you're in Adobe, right? So organize my page, rotate my page, file, save, and now I'm going to close that page, right? But now this is a 24 by 36. This is an Art D size page, and I could print it 8.5 by 11, and it's not going to print in scale. But if I printed it on a full-size piece of paper on that 24 by 36, it will print it in scale. And I could take a scale ruler to this part of the drawing, and I could measure in between my hash marks, and they're going to be exactly 9 inches. Or between my big hash marks, they're going to be 18 inches. I can measure on this drawing, on this piece of paper now in scale. And remember, this bottom one is in 1-inch scale. So now we've actually made a piece of paper, right? And it's a piece of paper that can be printed in scale, providing we print it on the size of paper that is required. And Adobe knows that this is a 36 by 24. If you go to print it, it'll ask you how much, scale to fit or not. And what you want to do is print it in full size if you take it to somebody to have it printed or to print it itself. I'm going to minimize that. And that is viewports and sheet layers. They're a very powerful tool, and we'll do a little bit more with this in just a little bit. Thanks.